been here for 3 weeks because you made me go away in my corner. You grounded me to my room. I wasn't allowed out. Hey,
Welcome back
everyone.
finally to the Fox Den. I know we've been off for a little while.
Mhm.
It has been a crazy time because of Penhurst Paracon, which went extremely well. Over 9,000 people came in attendance, probably because we have all our celebrity guests, and Josh Gates was there. So that was pretty amazing.
The Ghost
Um,
Brothers are there. That's all that counts.
and the Ghost Brothers are there,
But
yeah.
okay, I'm going to be honest, everybody. I've heard all the stories, I've seen all the pictures, but there was one thing missing at the Paragon.
Yes, I'm telling you, she needs to get
Maybe
her.
next year. We'll see.
Yep, we're
I don't
talking
make
about
promises. I will attend.
We are talking about travel tonight. One of
Mm.
the main things about travel is to have your passport.
I know.
Right?
I know.
You need to get that. All right. Well, let me play Jackie's video. Get her on here.
Mm.
I have so much to say about her. She is actually the one that her agency is who we get the majority of our guests from. So I've
Okay.
been working with her for years. It's going to be awesome to talk to her finally. So, but we're talking about her travel thing now. So she does a lot of things. You're going to love her. You're just going to love her. Puppy.
Oh, first.
This week in the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, we welcome Jackie Lapin. Jackie has been a lifelong traveler seeking to experience history through the world's cities, villages, castles, landmarks, nature, and books. A Southern California native, she first began a deep exploration of the history of her state and the people who shaped it, ignited by a trip to the California missions in the 3rd grade. As an adult, she began to travel for work and pleasure, always accompanied by her cameras. And when she couldn't travel, she read historic novels, historical chronicles, and biographies so she could better understand what she was seeing. It was her escape and her education. Photography gave her a sense of artistry and expression, in contrast to the practical dedication to her professional life. Jackie marked out an illustrious career as a serial pioneer, initially as one of the world's first women sports writers, and then owning one of the most prestigious sports PR firms. Her more recent companies refocused on helping personal growth authors secure podcast and radio shows, and most recently, speaking engagements. She is a best-selling personal growth author herself. And now, after years in the trenches serving others, Jackie determined the time was right to focus on her own passion, sharing the stories, photos, and the books that make history so fascinating to her. Hence the creation of her blog, The Historic Traveler, and her membership alliance, the Historic Traveler International, dedicated to informing, uniting, and supporting other history and historic book lovers. The Historic Traveler blog, Jackie shares the content and images from her visits to more than 500 cities, villages, castles, landmarks, and more. Her slide archive includes nearly 20,000 images, and her personal library counts 600 books. You can explore more about this at www.thehistorictraveler.com, and we welcome you, Jackie, and everyone to the Fox Den.
Hi, Jackie. Welcome to the
Hey,
Fox
Jackie.
Den. It is
I'm
so
delighted.
great.
I'm delighted to be here with you guys. After so many years of working with you without working with you, it's so fun to really meet you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. And you do so much. I mean, you really, really do. Sports writer? I mean, come on. It's like, I didn't even know that until, when I was reading your bio and everything. I'm like, oh my God. So that was like another notch in your belt that I had no idea. Nicole was saying, hello, Jackie. And everyone else and saying hi, hi, hi. Thank you guys. Welcome to the show. Please share because we have a lot to talk about with Jackie. Now, besides all the things that you've done in the past and, supporting shows like ours, and thank you for that because we'd be nowhere without you. There's no doubt. But I was saying before the show, I said I wanted to have my daughter, Jackie, on the show because she is just like you. She travels, she's been to 36 countries, and her pictures, she takes, I don't know, roughly 3,000 every trip. and she's like an extreme photographer. So it's pretty impressive, the things that she does. So I live vicariously through her, you know? So I really wanted to have her on the show tonight because I'm like, well, you two would take over the show. Be Jackie and Jackie hour.
Two Jackies.
Just sit back.
Well, we sound like we're mirror images of each other. I shoot about 5,000 per trip. So, you know, and the last trip when I did 9 weeks in Europe, I shot almost 10,000. And by the way, that number that I gave you about 20,000, I finally finished digitizing the photos, and altogether it's 35,000 images.
Oh my God. And how long did that take you?
About 8 months of digitizing work, day and night.
Wow.
Damn.
Because I deal with a lot of images, and I'll tell you, it's taxing. It really is.
It really was. I listened to audiobooks when I was doing it, so it wasn't horrible. You know, I had to get through a lot of audiobooks that have been sitting on my Kindle forever. But you know, it was really fun reliving my past travels. Now, I've been digitizing, you know, shooting digitally for the last 10 years, but there was 4 decades worth of photos that I was able to recapture, you know, and refresh. Thank God for Photoshop, just to make them come back. You know, if the skies have gotten, you know, the emulsion has gone bad, and in some of them I did lose, but some of them they brought back beautiful images. So, and that's some of the ones that you'll see on the site. You know, and so I focus on something in particular. I mean, I can't give everybody all of that. So what we did was we broke it into small chunks in the blog, but I also have a photo gallery. So the photo gallery, there are 35 individual little photo galleries within the big photo gallery. So there'll be a directory in there within the week, so that if you don't want to thumb through each of the different ones to see what's there, you can go directly to the ones that interest you.
That's awesome. So what she's actually talking about is she has the Historic Traveler blog. So you can subscribe to this service. If you're a traveler and you always are looking for a place to go and you want to know a little bit more about it, you want a little bit history, some of the pictures, so you know where you want to go. That's what she's doing.
Historically, maybe she could come down to the Getty's Battlefield Bash. It's an historical place.
And then sounds like fun. Yeah. I'm up for any bash. Right. Well, let me just also say that the blogs you can see for nothing. What you're signing up for on the blog page is to get the blog updates and reminders. So if you miss blogs, we'll remind you of which ones that were really great that you love to see. That will also give you a book recommendation every month, because I'll tell you what books I'm reading. It'll also give you news. Like, for example, I recently did the latest one is coming out that has the 6 archaeological finds around the world in 2025 already. So I put news in there, interesting stuff. There was an archaeological dig in Charleston that said that it was open to the public for 4 weeks. So whatever I find that's really interesting. I found an article, for example, in the LA Times recently that surveyed the motels around the state that have been brought up to, you know, current standards of, you know, sexiness. So, you know, I'm looking for fun things that will bring a smile to their face.
Yeah.
Right? Well, that we get a little one too. Now you're going to have to get into. It is the Speculum Alchemy Museum of Alchemy near the Old Town in Prague. So what I am talking about, people, is my daughter went to this lab, okay, and it's in this building. They didn't even know that this existed. So this floor here, they saw, okay, this bookcase has always been there. So they had a flood, and the flood opened up a part of the floor. So the floor opened, and all the water was going somewhere. So they found. Somehow I don't know how they did it, but this bookcase opens. It's a secret passage. No kidding. It's a secret passage on the far right there. That's them walking down to the secret passage. The book was down there. All of these frescoes, that fresco, that plate that's on the wall there, all those come off the walls. Inside were all these recipes that they used to make all of the medicines for people all that. I have two here that my daughter got me, and it's like rejuvenation. It's like for so many different things. So what they did is they took the recipes over to the nearest monks, and then the monks make all the recipes. So I have two here, and these are original recipes. I'm not sure on the dates of it or anything like that. It's old as hell, I'll tell you that. But they did not know that it was there, and if there wasn't the flood, they would never have found it.
Very true. Very
It's
true.
crazy.
They should have
You'll
a
have to look
potion for no haircutting.
I'll add that back into a blog that we're doing on Prague later this year. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And isn't that how it works? So, and you were saying about your books and everything, all the books that you have, you do a book swap as well? Is it just travel books, history books, or any kind of?
No. What we've done, because in addition to, travel enthusiasts, we also cater to historic novel enthusiasts. And so we have a books club and a book swap. So if you've got a historic novels sitting around the house and you'd like to get somebody else's historic novels, let's do that swap. So we've set up a special place in our membership community where you can pop your books in and make a trade.
That's really cool. I love that.
That's kind of like our community. We have every so often you'll see like a box. When they first started coming up, it was just boxes on the side of the road, and it had a glass front. And I was like, "What the heck is that?" It's a library where people can put in books and exchange them. Kids go in, and you see the kids like in the summer when the schools are closed, the libraries are closed. The kids are in there looking to see what books. And I'm like, "Oh, there's books." And I'm like, this is an amazing idea. There's about at least 4 that I know of in my community. I'm like,
oh, that's great.
That's nice.
Those are very, very sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I think I need to start trading some books here too. I have an awful lot.
But the library and put it on your front lawn.
And so what we did was I literally researched 8,000 books. And we've loaded them in by where the book is set. So if you're going to Prague, or if you're going to Italy, or if you're going to a particular city, you can go into our database and it'll tell you what the books are that you might want to read before you go. And we're talking, I have historic novels, historic mysteries, history books, and biographies. So whatever kind of reading you like to do, it's an archive of historic reading, and it's the only one that is so comprehensively divided by country, city, state, sorted so that you can find what you want.
Nice. That's amazing. That's awesome.
That's a lot of work.
Like I said, she travels all the time, and she's always searching, for things. So this is, exactly what she does. She's like their little travel agent. She makes all the arrangements and everything. So where are they going? They are going Singapore, Malaysia, Cambodia, Vietnam this year in October. But she's gone to Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, China, Croatia. I can't even pronounce that one. Denmark, Estonia, Finland. This is from Finland. This is actually made from a postage stamp that they had there. She brought me a little egg back from Finland because I'm Finnish and Italian. So she's been to France, Greece, and Gibraltar, Germany, Hong Kong, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Ireland, Japan, Luxembourg. I mean, it's just like it goes on and on and on. So she has. I mean, she's you. But where I put this up,
and probably younger.
Yeah, she's young. Yeah, she's 40. But this place, she loves everything about the Forbidden City and everything. She got engaged there. So they had to smuggle the ring in and all this kind of stuff to get it there, to set it all up. So that's where she actually got engaged on one of her trips, which was really nice.
Fabulous. Good for her.
Yeah.
Wanderlust is in your soul.
She's got it. She's got it. Like she would sit here and she would go through all these pictures like this. Like she loves it. She's walked all these things. She's been there, but these pictures that you put up here, they are beautiful. I cannot fit all the beautiful pictures that she has on my screen. That is a place I want to go because it's paranormal, haunted.
Edinburgh Castle. Yeah.
But I love castles. I absolutely adore castles. I absolutely adore this. Madrid. Oh my gosh. Who would not want to go? Been there. And this is like, it's on my what I
So,
want to do before I die list.
so if you go to Milan and you go to the Duomo, take the tour up on the roof. Wear good shoes so don't slide around,
Yeah.
but go to the roof. It's an extraordinary view like nothing you've ever seen. You're amidst the spires.
Wow.
It's just amazing.
Breathtaking, right? And
Yeah.
how come we don't have that kind of stuff around here? You know,
Yeah.
it is
Not
so
everywhere.
stunning. Thank you very much. This is my pin. I have my pin. I just don't have it on. I have my pin, Christopher. His little daughter is the little parakeet now. Since our Paracon, she's a little investigator. So she came up and gave us little bestie fox pins. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you. I hope you guys like traveling, because that's what we're talking about tonight with Jackie, and the blogs that she's set up and her accompanying
work that she's put into it. This is not just dusting over the top of it. She did. How many books did you say you went through?
8,000.
This woman went through 8, and she could probably. Did you read? You had to read them all.
No,
Gina,
no,
you
no,
need to count your books.
I probably read 4,000 historic novels on my own.
Still,
But I have a library of probably 600 still here.
okay.
But I was really looking for the books that were right for that market. So even though I didn't read it, I wanted to make sure that people had options.
Right,
because not every book that one I would read anyway.
But that's still a lot of work.
Most of our books are pre-World War I. That's the one caveat I will tell you. So if you're looking for big World War II books, it's not in this directory.
Okay. So if you really want to know the history of a place, that's where
Carmen says she loves traveling if it wasn't for her anxiety.
Yeah. But I also, anxiety, you know what? As I get older, anxiety and travel is really more prevalent. Like, I've always had OCD and I go crazy, but when I travel now, it's like I pack like the week before, and then I unpack, repack till the day I'm going. I don't sleep the night before. I mean, it's like, it's ridiculous. It really is. But I'll still go. If I was going to Italy, especially, because I would be going.
Italy is so amazing. Just so amazing. There's so many incredibly wonderful places to visit.
No doubt. But this is your logo. So you designed this logo. How come I got comments on the screen? Can everybody see comments on the screen? Oh, okay. Thank you. The historic traveler that you've written here, like, look at all the lettering. Tell us about this. Like, did you come up with this yourself?
I knew that I wanted the H to be the London Bridge. That was so obvious to me. And then I went to my designer and I said, and she works full-time for me and we know each other very well. And I said, Kath, I really want a logo that has historic icons in it. And we knew we were going to use the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I said, have at it, girl. And so she came up with a lot of the other ones. And I'm delighted. But we wanted to also represent different continents. Obviously, Big Ben and the Tower of London. But then we also have the, Christ from Sao Paulo, the wagon wheel from the West, the Doric column there from Greece. But we also had the totem pole from Alaska. And then, of course, the two others, the Leaning Tower and the Eiffel Tower. So we wanted to have but it's fun. We wanted to have a logo that represented what we do and what, and what we love. And then, of course, the books and the world.
Right. So that's what I do when I'm making my little videos. It's like the pictures come into my brain and it's just like, and then I got to find them. But I do graphic stuff all the time, for design work. But I absolutely adore them. Anyway, my comments back up here.
We made merchandise out of this because we think it's such a fun logo. I get to wear my sweatshirts and T-shirts, and I have a big, tote bags. It's really fun.
Cool. Yep. You can put it on hat. It's a good enough logo that you can do everything with. Mine's too complicated. So,
We've got, we got.
All you gotta put is the fox in.
hashtags
Everybody
and-
else knows who we are.
I'm sorry, what?
No, Gina says that her logo's too long to put on the hat or something. But all she's got to do is put the fox in on and a little butterfly and a fox in there. Our names, because we could, she could fire me at any time and put somebody else in my place. I would torment her, but
hell no.
because this is just a temporary gig for me. What has it been, 5 years now? Temporary?
More than that.
Yeah.
More than that. Yeah, that's what I did. I said, just come on, just
What do you
say? And she's never left. Well, hi, Bree. I didn't see you were in there. Hello. Okay, what am I missing here? Skylar, Mr. Bob, let's increase the travel budgets. Let's go. Yes. Well, if we go to Edinburgh, Skylar, you're coming. But we'll have to look up what Jackie wrote about Edinburgh too. I wish I had more room on here that I could have actually put up some pictures of like in your blog. So you have like downtown Milan, right? And then you have all your wording around it or everywhere, just like everywhere. The blog is amazing. If you go onto the site and get your free guide, it's that you'll see it and it's for free. And she's so thoughtful with how she's put it all together. And you can tell, she's put this together with love and a lot of hard work.
Thank you. So let me tell you what that guide is. That is a 55-page e-guide that says 20 international cities where you can immerse yourself in history and the books to read to make you feel as if you live there. So that guide, if you are planning a trip, armchair planning a trip because you just, don't have anywhere to go, but you want it, or you're planning your bucket list, all of that is really going to give you. And what I do is I give you some, like I do in a blog, I give you the history of the place, or I give you as kind of a setup as to why this place is interesting. And then a history so you understand the context. And then I tell you what to see. What are the historic sites? What are the interesting things? But it's all based around history. You're not going to find me talking about, all the restaurants to eat, unless it's a historic restaurant, or all the arts. It's going to be focused on history and the historic places.
That's amazing.
And that's important. A lot of people are forgetting about history. So you do something special to make sure that it gets shared and still continues.
Yeah. My daughter wanted to make it a point too, that she said pretty much out of all the locations she's been, if you have a tour guide, they're pretty good. However, she said Russia and Romania, tour guides, and she knew that they were saying wrong information because she did her homework and she did look it up, and they were selling it like they were, they knew exactly what she's talking about. She's like, come here. And then she's telling the people, she's like, that's not really right.
So here's a little tip. If you're on a tour, don't hang at the back. Go up front where the tour guide is and ask questions. You're going to get way more. If you get the opportunity to converse with somebody, you're going to learn a lot more than what they're giving in the big spiel. So you might learn about their life. You might learn about more history. You might learn about living in that kind of a country and how they educate their people. And, it's just a greater opportunity to appreciate what you're experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
What was this? So you were in England and Scotland in 2013. That's wonderful. Rick Stevens?
Yes.
Isn't it the tour, the guy that goes around? Does he have a show?
On PBS. I actually met him about 3 months ago at the travel show here in LA. He signed a book for me. And you're right. I would love to be the Rick Stevens of historic travel. I love what he does, and I watch every one of his shows.
Nice.
So make it happen. Make it happen. You're like a miracle worker in herself. So I think if you were going to do it, you're going to do it. So how many countries have you actually gone to?
I've been to 50 countries and about 500 different locations.
Dang.
Yeah. Over how many years?
Multiple cities in a state, a country or something like that. And it includes the U.S. When I talk about locations, So, I'm not just external to the US. I believe that traveling in the US and exploring our history here is just as exciting. So, but yeah, and I keep adding, there'll be more. There'll be more.
As it stands right now, do you have a favorite place?
One of my all-time favorite is Bruges, Belgium. It's like a mini Amsterdam with canals and swans in the canals and these beautiful tall buildings with winches on them, like you see along the canals. But it's very quiet and peaceful, it's just stunningly beautiful. But there's lots of others, like we talked about Prague. I love Prague. Budapest is another great city.
Right.
But Dubrovnik, let's talk about Dubrovnik and Croatia. They filmed parts of Game of Thrones there.
Right. Yeah, I know some people that went to the castle. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, I honestly, I adore castles, and I would go anywhere where there were a lot of castles. And I guess Germany has many castles. So I'm like, that would be high on my bucket list.
She's making a castle list.
Yes, a castle list.
Well, you can't throw a stone in the UK without hitting a palace or a castle, and heaven for me.
Yeah. That's very nice, Carmen. That's very nice.
Is there any place that is on the top of your bucket list?
Yes. Egypt is next. And then Turkey after that.
Wow. So let me ask you this now, because a lot of people that go to Egypt, it's going for like metaphysical reasons and things like that too, because you've helped self-help people, metaphysical books and things like that. Is this that kind of any influence at all, or just plain historic and you just want to see everything there?
Both for me. Both for me. I want to go obviously to see the history and experience that, but certain places are spiritually rich, and I want to experience that as well for myself.
That's wonderful. That really is wonderful. Thank you again too for all the awesome guests I've gotten from you. It's like amazing. Half my library over here is, because of you.
Thank you. It honors us and helps us a lot. So get our people out there. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, what did she say? Now you got to do a thing with
You
Josh.
need to get a hook with Josh Gates. He goes to Egypt.
Oh yeah, they found some more stuff. Oh God, brain. Where did he find the new chamber underneath the beginning of the library, the bank, the library, what was it?
Don't think so hard. You remember it.
It'll come. It'll come. Yes, I have a craft.
She's got a squirrel brain. There's a girl going on in her brain right now.
Yeah. But they found a new thing. I mean, Josh Gates was at our event, so it's like I did not get a chance to talk to him, but I really wanted to. But we were so busy, as I wanted to talk to him about all the things that they go and they try to find, and then he has to leave. And it's like, well, that would make me insane. My OCD would go through the roof. Like I can't leave till we find this thing, the treasure or the whatever, what's in that hidden room. Boy, but wouldn't that be wonderful to find something like that?
Yes.
To go in and see for the first time something that no one else has seen in, hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, like, that would be insane. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, what's this now? Gaza.
No,
that's not it. God. It's the library. It's the big bank building and built into the wall. Oh my God! It's been in every movie under the sun too. It'll come to me. But I have to get that out of my head. Oh yeah. That's a good question, because I do have some specific questions here, but then like the conversation just goes. But do you yourself, like, where do you go when you want to read up on places that you are going to, and is that what inspired you to do all this?
Well, the first place that I would go is an Insight Guide, and I have a directory of them on the website, over 200 of them. The reason that I love the Insight Guides, as opposed to all the other ones out there, is because it's the best one for history history lovers. They have a really thick section of history in each of those books. Now you get all the other stuff, where to eat, where to stay, all that, what to see. But I love the fact that, man, it gets me up to speed on the history before I walk in the door. And now I can know what to go and look for. So that's my go-to on every trip. I bought like 8 of them before my trip to Europe. I did 9 weeks in 2023. And so I didn't take them with me. I didn't thumb through them. And I think you can get them online. But it gave me the perspective, and I knew what I wanted to see after I got into those places. And then the next thing that I do, and of course, and I'd love to read historic novels. So if I can read about one in that place, I will. If not, so much of my reading over the years, many times will have informed me already. So when I walk into, in Hampton Court Palace, I know so many of the things that have happened there. And if you recently saw the PBS, the last chapter of the Wolf Hall, which is phenomenally acted by Damian Lewis and Mark Rylance, you saw a lot of it filmed there at Hampton Court Palace because that's where those things happened. Yep. So a lot of times when I go someplace, I have enough knowledge of the kings and what happened in that locality that it brings. For example, I went to Chenonceau, which is a chateau in the Loire Valley, and it's famous because it's called the Ladies' Chateau. 5 women had controlled it, and it was at one point under the control of Diane de Poitiers, who was the mistress of Catherine de Medici's husband, who was the king. And as soon as he died, Catherine threw de Poitiers out and took it over. And so here I'm standing in that bedroom where Catherine de Medici slept. But I know what's happened. It was portrayed beautifully on a TV show called The Serpent Queen on Showtime not too long ago. And so being there has more meaning for me because I know what happened. I know the story. I know the personalities that led to that. So reading is a really important factor for me before I ever get there. And then I look for a local tour, usually a visit. I might do, a walking tour. I might do a hop on, hop off bus, just a morning half day tour. Any of those things to get acquainted with the city initially when I get there. And then I'll start exploring on foot with my camera.
Of course. Yeah. Because once you're riding around, it's like, oh, I want to definitely go there. You mark it down. I definitely want to go there. You're hearing about it. See where it is in distance of walking, and all that. Because you put 5 million miles on every trip.
Yeah. And
Carmen's had a good, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Jackie.
And me, because I really like to walk it, because you can't do a good photography rendering of something from a bus.
No.
Yeah. No, for sure.
No, definitely not.
Carmen's got a good question. What is the longest travel you've done, Jackie? And do you do a pre-reading or a point blank?
So let me answer the first one. There's 2 long trips that I took. One, when I was in my late 20s, I did a 6-week trip to Europe. And then in 2023, when I did my bucket list trip of all the historic cities I had not yet been to in Europe.
Wow.
And so that was 8 weeks. That was 9 weeks. So 6 for the first and 9 for the second. But there was a time when I had my big public relations agency and I could walk away from my business because my staff was doing it. And I was mostly in the sales and administration and management part of it. Mm-hmm. And so I would take 5 weeks a year. I'd take 3 weeks during the summer and 2 weeks at Christmas time and go disappear somewhere. And that was really fun.
Do you have travel buddies or like a certain group or friends or?
Not so much, but I have one girlfriend that I've probably been to 3 or 4 places with. And we're the longest friends in each other's lives. We've been friends for 45 years, and she lives in New York and I live here. So traveling together is a real treat. I used to do some, when I was traveling for business, there were a couple of women that I would go in early with to some of our meetings, and we do a little traveling, but that doesn't happen anymore. But that's one of the reasons I created the Historic Traveler, to have more friends that I can travel with. And eventually we're going to be doing tours. That's still in the distance, but we plan to do that.
Yeah.
And
you open that up to the public and say, hey, we're going here, and get tickets, and put me on that list.
Get on the list for the mailing list, and we'll be glad to tell you about that. But we're gonna, that is one kind. And the other things too is what I love is that I make friends everywhere, and I go and visit them.
Awesome.
On my very first trip to Europe, I ended up there by myself. And after leaving a group that I didn't care to travel with, and I had a boyfriend from the 2 summers before, and I picked up the phone and I said, hey, I'm in Europe. He said, well, you're coming to Wiesbaden, aren't you? And I said, well, I am now.
How nice. Wow. That's like my other daughter. She likes to travel too. So both of my daughters like to travel. Like my other daughter just got back from Iceland. She went, and she's like more of the drop kid, so she went and did like this triathlon type stuff that they were having there, biking, hiking, climbing ice walls or whatever the heck. I don't even know what she was doing. I'm just like, please make it home. Okay. That's all I'm worried about. Please make it home. And she did that one by herself. Because no one of her friends were like, yeah, no. I don't want to go all the way to Iceland and go have to work, you know what I mean? But that's what she likes to do. So, yeah, but she travels all the time. My 6-year-old grandson, I think, has been more places than I've been.
Well, I really applaud them for doing that.
I know. I have like the wandering, I don't know.
Wandering daughters.
Both girls.
I say the world is my classroom.
Yeah,
it's true, because you can learn only so much in a classroom setting. When it comes to learning historical facts, a book is great, but if you go to those places, see those things and the buildings and everything, that makes it more interesting.
When you look at these beautiful pictures that some people can take, it's almost like being there.
I like that one. The stairs would kill me, but I like that.
I couldn't do that. Yeah, I got issues. I can't walk like that. I could never do the wall. I couldn't do all those things, even the hike up there is pretty big.
When I'm doing a blog, Gina, the point of the blog is to make you feel as if you were there too. Right. So now a blog doesn't have one photo with me. It has 20 and sometimes 30 photos. Wow. And don't forget that at the end, you're going to get the book recommendations for every single blog.
And then you learn more and more and more.
Now put a Viator tour, one of the in-city Viator tours. That's a local company that does the walking tours and the local tour bus tours. So we add that into it. So when you're seeing a blog, you get the essence of what it's like. You get the perspective of it. You get quirky photos. So I'm not just shooting a building. I'm shooting the doorknob. I'm shooting the window.
The doors.
The doors. The interesting people, I'm giving you everything that strikes me as interesting, funny, or beautiful.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, and in all these areas too. I mean, that's why I look at every one of the 7,000, 6,000 pictures that my daughter comes home with, and she knows exactly where they all are, everything about it, and she does the doors. She likes the door pictures and everything, but she will get up so bloody early in the morning to get out there because she wants the streets with no people.
Yeah.
So
I know that.
She gets some really pretty amazing photos. So she'll be out shooting 5,000 photos and everyone else that she's with is still sleeping.
Good for her. I used to do night photography until I got too old. But
what's that? Good time.
Stay up that way and be tired after a full day's worth of walking. But I know exactly what she's talking about. I love to get those special photos without a million people in them. But I will tell you, these days with Photoshop, If there's one or two people that are in my picture in the way, I'll just go home and Photoshop it out.
Yep. Yeah. Erase, and then it fills it all in nicely. Because she had one with one person, and she didn't have a race on it. I'm like, you don't have a race, and I erased the one person, sent it back, and it took 2 seconds, and she's like, oh my god. But she still gets up early. But this is a really good question from Carmen. Do you ever feel like you belong in another country than you are in now?
Well, I firmly believe, in fact, I know I have memories of a fast life regression in medieval England. And so when I'm in England, there is a strong connection for me there. And that to me is, I feel very much at home there. So that, I don't know that I want to live anywhere else, although I would love to live in Europe for a while. And just, wander around. But to move from the United States would be very challenging for me because I'm getting up there in years, and I don't have a husband or a partner to live with. So I love the benefits of what we get in this country called Medicare.
Right.
I would rather stick around here, but then travel and enjoy the opportunities and experiences in other countries for a short period of time, and then come back to my nest.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then when you're there too, now you have to deal with tourism, especially if it's a locale that has a lot of tourism, that interferes with local life. It does. It makes, especially like London. Could you imagine? I could not live there. There's no way. I would never be able to deal with that traffic. Take 45 minutes just to get around that one. No, that's nuts. Even here, going down the Cape, add more damn bridges, people. Because you're in a bottleneck for like 3 hours. It's like, come on, but it's, when it's peak travel season, it's cumbersome for locals. It's great for their economy, but to live there,
they have to make great accommodations to us. And certainly it always gets worse in places where there's cruise ships, where they dump thousands of people into a small community in a short period of time, and then they all go and leave.
Right.
I've talked to a lot of the locals, and that is really tough on them a lot of times. It certainly makes their income, but they also have to make some real accommodations for lifestyle for them.
Exactly.
You never think about that when you think about, I want to go on a cruise ship. You never think about the opposite side of the coin. Like, everyone thinks a cruise ship is fun, it's a blast. But like you said, when they all go rush in for a couple of hours to a small town and then rush out, it's like, what happened? What hit us?
I know. You go to someplace small, like St. Martin. St. Martin's small. You pull up on a cruise ship, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of people coming in, and it's a little teeny town right there. This ship will be allotted to. Some go on one side, some go on the other side, but
And that's what I say. Some of it's too. You're going to get more than one cruise ship into a town on a day.
Yep.
And that's really where it it gets challenging for them.
Right.
What is the best time of the year to travel?
Well, a lot depends on if you're a photographer. If you don't care if the weather is marginal or you like winter, go in the off seasons and the shoulder season. It's way less expensive and less crowded.
Okay.
However, if you're a photographer and you really like sun, you're fairly limited to certain periods of time.
Right.
And of course it's opposite in the Southern Hemisphere. I used to take my Christmas in places like Mexico because that would be, the weather would be decent down there and I could shoot. But I will tell you that these days with climate change, the weather is just not dependable, even wherever you go. I mean, it was stiflingly hot in Europe, but a lot of the days were cloudy and miserable. And it's very hard to get good photographs when everything is gray.
Yeah.
So, but stay long enough. So if the days are bad, you might get one or two good sunny days in a place.
Yeah. Don't plan to go for just a couple of days. Give it a few more. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So both my daughters, like I said, my daughter just came back from Iceland. My other daughter went to Iceland last year or the year before, whatever. She had a nice, beautiful bed and breakfast place and Airbnb, and it was way away from the towns. The roads traveling, they were all ice. It was crazy, ridiculously treacherous. The house was all windows, like all glass all the way around. But it was like flat and it was like, ugh, mundane, just like nothing great really to look at until the aurora borealis comes.
Oh God, yeah.
Holy, oh my God. It lit up everything. You could see it from all the windows in the houses. The picture she took of that was stunning. I'm like, okay, now I see why you went.
Yeah, that was fantastic. God bless her. I've only seen the aurora once. It's a white, more like moonbeams. Actually, I've seen it twice. Once from an airline, once from the ground. And I've always wanted to see the colors. So bless her heart. That's, I've heard fabulous things about Iceland.
Yeah, the beautiful greens and everything. And she said the whole house, like, it glowed green inside the house. It was just phenomenal, phenomenal. And they had a hot tub outside so they could sit in the hot tub underneath that and everything. It's like, could you imagine? That's why you do it, right? Is to see these things that you don't normally see. Now, for them up there, they'd be like, yeah, it's another one. We're watching TV.
I don't know if they could actually get bored of that. But I guess, yeah, if you see it every time, I don't know. It's like for me, I'm up here in Canada, by the way. For me, spring and fall are my favorite seasons. But I like fall because the changing of the leaves. I love the color. I love the work with that the brush that Mother Nature paints with. It's like amazing.
I would love to go to the spring again, to Holland to see the tulips.
She did that too. Oh my God. You get to walk through those fields.
Yeah.
There's paths, but it's all the colors and all the rose and this big rainbow and everything. And she said she'd never seen anything like it. And again,
so when you go, isn't necessarily right. It's one thing for anybody. Everybody has what feels right for them. And some people don't want to go when it's hot. They would much rather take, spring and fall just because, and they don't care about what kind of weather they get. Although sometimes fall can be just stunning.
Yeah.
just
because it's going to be less oppressive.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can't handle the heat. I can't breathe. So that's my problem. So I get, because thanks to COVID, it destroyed my lungs. So now I have COPD, I have emphysema. So like a lot of walking is out for me. I'll still do it. I'll putz as much as I can, you know what I mean? But then the heat will get me too. So if it's hot and humid, then I really can't breathe and it's really bad. Not a good thing at all.
Yeah.
So if it's cooler, and I'm from Massachusetts. I don't know if you've noticed my accent. Not, but yeah, there's no R's in my language for the most part. But but it's cooler up there. And I mean, summer is hot, but for the most part, we have 3 cool seasons, and I like it better that way. Now I'm in Pennsylvania, and it's like humid. It's tough.
Yeah, the one thing I can't handle cold. Real ice, snow, all that kinds of stuff very well. And I'm not a humidity person, so I do my best to avoid. There's certain times if I'm going to go to New Orleans, if I have to, I will, but I would much rather go when the weather is mild.
Right.
Yeah.
That's someplace I've always wanted to go to. And then it's like, like certain times I start making plans to go and I want to do something. I want to go do like all the plantations again for paranormal and all that kind of stuff. And then it was like flood times and this and that. It's like always something major happens to thwart my plans like that. So have you ever had a plan made and something like major catastrophe happen?
I have not. I was in Hawaii once when they had a tsunami warning. So we had to stop the day and go up to the top of the hill and wait until the alarms went back off and we could travel around. But I've never been anywhere where there was actually, something awful or that ruined my trip, etc. So I'm very fortunate in that sense. I've always been able to pick the times when it was a beautifully clear opportunity to go.
Nice.
My sister was RVing. She's an RV person, and she was doing a cross-country trip. And on her way back, she was going to do Yellowstone. And that's when they had that flood and all the roads got washed out. So she was actually stuck on one side for a while before they could repair and get people out from where she was.
Wow.
So, You never know. You never know what can happen, on travels.
I'm more in Greater Angel, staying at home. I live in California on the edge of the fire area, so I almost lost my house in a Grizzly fire.
That's
So,
scary. That is scary. I mean, God bless you, but I don't know why anybody lives out there. I really don't. It's like you're on a fault line. It's going to fall off and it's going to go into the ocean one of these days. But the fires, the earthquakes, the everything. Oh my God, I would be like, oh, I'd be on edge all the time.
well, you're paying for the beauty and the fabulous weather of living here. So, and I love Southern California. I was born and bred here, so I just feel lucky to have been able to have enjoyed it this long. But you're right; it's getting a little bit more dangerous because and the primary reason is the 100-mile-an-hour winds that
Right.
now will carry the ash, those embers so fast that they can't do anything about that. And that again is a climate change issue. It was never this bad before. So, but I love. I love where I live. Ladies, thank you for all your beautiful support and also for the questions you've been asking. I love Southern California. It is filled with history if you want to go looking for it, which is the incubator for my own love of history. I mean, before I did anything else,
I about that. The mountains.
California history, was really love the nuances of what created our state. So I may or may not sit it out much longer, but I sure have loved being here.
Well, that's wonderful that at least you have that part that was like the best part of it all, before it all changes. I mean, that the climate change is changing everything everywhere, for sure.
And you have to be worried about what it's doing to some of the places. For example, if you're going to Venice, you don't go during the season when St. Mark's Plaza is underwater. I mean, there are just here when it literally is 3 feet deep in water.
Right.
So you don't go to St. Mark's Square then.
Right. Yeah, you got to know. You got to know all the areas and what happens, weather, seasonal, all of that. So there's a lot into travel. You don't just, I'm going to go to Venice next week. It's you plan it. You plan it. Like talking with people like you, going on these sites, looking up all this information. That's what makes it all, come into play too.
Well, and one of the fun things we do is we have the world's largest directory of historic hotels, inns, and B&Bs. So if you want to go stay someplace and you love history, go stay in a historic facility.
Absolutely.
Get a sense of what, I mean, now most of them have put in elevators, although you still find some old pensions that don't have them. But, experience those beautiful, fabulous buildings. I mean, I was in a converted 13th century palazzo in Verona. There were 2 buildings. Each was an original palazzo. There was an entry area in the beginning, in the middle, that was converted to the entryway of the hotel. You went up a little level, and in the breakfast room, they had a window in the floor when you could look down into a Roman house.
Wow. Oh my God. How cool is that? How did you find that?
I had a good travel agent who knows I love history, and she said, you have to stay here. Then there was another one that she put me in that was a medieval guild hall in Lucerne overlooking the Reuss River. And if you have ever seen pictures of Lucerne, there is this beautiful covered bridge lined with flowers with a big round tower in the middle of it. It's one of the most picturesque places in Europe. And my window looked right out on it, just right out. So, but find the places that evoke history if you love history. And I'm same for restaurants. Go looking for the historic restaurants. We will eventually also have a directory of historic museums across the world. We're working on that next.
Love that. Because I'm like, I'm an art buff. I love art. I love architecture. That's why, the
She's an artist. Don't let her trick you. She's an artist.
Yeah. Well, that's why I became a designer.
Yeah.
So I love all that. I love putting it all together. I love all the things. So like the architecture and everything. That's one of the reasons why I want to go to like Rome, like Italy. I want to see. I want to walk through the Colosseum. I want to look at all the fountains. I want to go in every single church, and I just want to drink it. You know what I mean? Like that's where I think I belong. I like if you like that question. I think it was Carmen that asked, "Did you think you belong in another country?" Like I always said, if I was going to move from Massachusetts in the United States, I'd move to Pennsylvania. Said it since I was a kid. Now I live in Pennsylvania. If I was ever to leave the country, it would be Italy, and that's where I would live.
Well, you'd have a good choice. I mean, I love Tuscany, Florence, Siena, San Gimignano, Pisa, Lucca. I mean, it's just phenomenal and just so beautiful.
Just gorgeous.
Historic.
Yeah.
What was the first place you traveled to outside of the U.S.?
That actually probably was Toronto, because when I won the baseball writer scholarship in 1972, I got invited to come to the Detroit Free Press. I was at the Detroit Free Press at 20, at the Associated Press at 21, and the front pages of the LA Times, and at the Washington Post, and on co-hosted Dodger Dugout all before I was 22 years old. Wow. And when I went to the Detroit Free Press, I had all these Canadian relatives on my grandmother's side. And the day that I was to go to Canada to visit them over 4th of July, I actually was invited to be on the national television Game of the Week, because I was such
Game of the Week
breakthrough at that point. Wow. And so I had to call everybody and say, well, I'm going to be a little late. I'm going to be on national TV. And then I went up to Canada to visit with my relatives. But my first actual international trip was the one that I mentioned that let me step back. My first international trip was when I was in my mid-20s, and I took a cruise around the Caribbean with my high school girlfriend and college roommate. And we hit, I think it was 9 different islands over the course of 2 weeks. And that really opened my eyes up to, the beauty and the wonder of travel.
Yeah. I still like St. Martin.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. It was definitely my favorite on any of those rounds around the islands. It's definitely my favorite. Carmen,
we're going to food.
5 who had the best food. I'm not a foodie, so I would be eating on the street things, and I'd bring peanut butter.
Sometimes the street vendors are the best ones, though.
Right. In Paris, they are.
But. Well, I'm not a foodie, but you can't beat Italian food. That's extraordinary. Greek is fun, the moussaka and all of those kinds of things.
Souvlaki.
French. But, if you love French, I think the Belgian food is even better. I love Belgian food. We had a Belgian chef who used to, have a restaurant near my family home, and we would go there for family dinners. So I love the Belgian food. When I was in Ghent, Belgium, there is a dish called waterzwie, and it's kind of like a potato soup with a little fish in. It's kind of a much lighter version of clam chowder. That was absolutely fantastic. And I might have it again in a minute. When I was on my trip 2 summers ago, I like goulash. Goulash is a great dish in Budapest, and they also serve it in Vienna. Does that give you an idea, Carmen? I'm not an Asian food either. Let me just warn you. I don't eat Asian food.
Oh, no. And no sushi.
She says Greek is close to what I eat because I'm Armenian.
Good. Great. Yeah.
Sushi is good if it's vegetarian.
Nope.
It is not really sushi.
Nope. Cook that fish. You got.
No, I don't. That's sashimi, and I don't eat raw fish. I don't eat any kind of fish in sushi. For me, it's just vegetables. And they even have a nice dessert one up
I
here.
thought all sushi was fish. So
I
I'm not.
believe
You
sushimi
also
is the
have rice and
lobster.
vegetables put together.
Yeah,
Well, Mama, you know what I would eat.
egg sandwich.
Sandwich.
When we first started talking, every time at that time I wasn't working all the time, and I'd say, she goes, I'm having, I just had lunch. I'm like, what'd you have? Egg sandwich. And I say, what'd you have? Egg sandwich. So now I don't say, did you have egg sandwich for lunch? She goes, yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, now now if you have an egg sandwich, you feel like you're rich because the egg prices are so high.
Yeah.
Make scrambled eggs, and it's like, oh my god, am I breaking the bank to have scrambled eggs? But I'm not a foodie. My neighbor, who I hang around with all the time, who makes incredible food. We just went. Okay, our cookout on Monday was steak, baked potatoes. She had all these different olives and all these different, like, there was so much stuff, and shrimp on the bobby. That was amazing. I mean, we rolled out of there, but she came out and she goes, I found these potatoes and I'm going to make double stuffed potatoes. The things were this big. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they were massive. Like, I couldn't fit them in the two hands. Okay. And then she stuffed them with more potatoes. They were over, like, it took up the whole plate. The potato needed a plate. The steak was so big it needed a plate. I'm like, do we look like an army? I am not an army. I cannot eat all this food. I could not. Bob did really well, but I'm like, I cannot eat all this food. But wow, but she watches all the cooking shows, all that kind of stuff. And she'll come over with, charcuterie, whatever, all this stuff. I'm just like, okay.
Okay, I'll be your taste tester. No problem. Bring it on.
I'll try
I
it.
don't cook, so I'm happy when somebody's making food.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
I'm not unless it's Italian food, I'll cook Italian food.
And eggs.
And eggs.
I love Americanized Mexican food. Mexican food in Mexico is good, but I actually prefer the Americanized version.
Yeah. Not as spicy, or
Yeah, so the moles are a little too much for me sometimes. Too
I can't do the spicy.
stuff like that. But
Yeah,
but you can get a lot of great fish just about anywhere you go. That's one of the nice things. You can eat great fish. I love all the shellfish. I love all shellfish. So
yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with crab in Maryland and lobster in Maine. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Right. Where I used to go, and we'd go camping on the beach in Nauset at Cape Cod, and it would be like right across from the Nauset Lighthouse. That's before the break in the peninsula that all the campers could go out and park. So it was the ocean on one side, the bay behind you, so we would fish all day for striper, get striper. Once in a while, the blues would come through. You get the blues. We had some friends with boats that lived down there that had lobster traps. So out in the middle, they would go get their lobsters. On the backside, you had mussels and clams and quahogs, right? So you're like, you walk out into the water a little bit, you get your quahogs, you go out a little deeper, you get some mussels, and you're up on the beach, you're getting clams. We ate like kings and queens down there all the time. And then you come to Pennsylvania, and here's the thing, talk about culture. They think quahogs here are clams. I'm like, that is a quahog any day of the week, and I'm from New England. Okay. I'm telling you, I know what my shellfish are. I know where they live in the water, how they come into being, where the oysters are, where the scallops are, where the mussels are, where the, quahogs are, and the clams are on the beach. Right? Quahogs are in the water. That's why they have those hard shells. I'm like, so you come down here and it's like, everyone said, Bob's sister said, come up for clams and lobster. I was like, oh, good. I went up there. It's rock lobster, one, and it's just a tail, and it's hard. It's, the hard shell, because that's what they get down here. Not like the lobster that we're used to with the nice soft shell, the big claws, scrumptious. This thing is like, you need a
mallet.
mallet to get it open. You know, I'm like, this is not seafood. I'm sorry.
What's the difference? This is the girl who does not. I eat tuna in a can, and I'll eat like a fillet of fish, but it better not have no bones. I
Yeah.
stopped eating McDonald's. I know it's not the same thing, but McDonald's filet of fish because I used to love it because I found a bone in it, and I just no, yeah. I got to pick around a bone, and for me, the fish has to be like my meat. It's got to sort of be flaky, can't be chewy. And I have not found my husband loves seafood, and he gets angry because why make it just for him? I was like, I'll make it for you, and I'll eat a bologna sandwich. I'm okay with that. No, but I'm not. I won't eat shrimp. So what's the difference between a quahog and a clam?
Well, quahogs, they're about, yay big. Okay. They're out in the water all the time. Right. They're not on the, then they have a really hard, roundish kind of shell. Right.
Okay.
When you shuck them there and you open it, they're, all right. Like a clam has a neck and a belly. Right. A quahog doesn't. It just looks like a
Slime.
Not slime. It's more consistent than that. It's a more of a rubbery type little.
Okay.
And he's really strong, right? A quahog is stronger, like a mussel is strongest, but a quahog is stronger than a clam, and a clam is nice and mild and yummy. So
sorry, we detoured from history travel. You got me on the food. I was like,
it's still travel. It's the Cape. You know what I mean? It's still it's learning.
It's exploring the world.
Yeah,
it is, and and that's all the
won't try that.
Yeah, the foods of locations is big. Octopus.
How many people tell me, "Oh, frog legs tastes like chicken"? I'll eat a chicken. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One of the things we haven't talked about is we also have a magazine. The Historic Traveler magazine. And what I love about it is the first half of the magazine is destinations, and the second half is media. So in the first half of the magazine, you're going to get, focus on one international, one U.S. magazine. There's going to be an interview with somebody fascinating that has something to do with history or preservation or whatever.
Nice.
Travel. I've got the first interview was a guy that saved all the lighthouses in America.
Nice.
And then there's a spotlight on something like I did the 4 Roman arenas where you can still actually see a performance. The next one's going to be funiculars. It'll zoom you up between old towns and new towns. And then there is, and then there are, I focus on a grand mansion, one on a house of worship, some buildings that have been repurposed, historic buildings for modern use. We also have a feature on, there's another feature, I can't remember, but, different things that we highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then, museums. We do one on museums. And then the second half, we'll have a big interview with an author who has one or more series. And I'm really excited that our next issue, the second issue, is going to feature Tony Riches, who's one of the most successful historic novelists today.
Wow.
You'll find his books all over Amazon. They're Elizabethan and Tudor books, really not about and from the point of view of the sovereign. It's about the people around them, real people who lived.
Okay.
But told from their standpoint of being in proximity to the sovereign.
Okay.
And he tells their story from beginning to end with, only really inventing dialogue, but a lot of it still comes from the research. So he has actual words. So we're going to talk to him, in that second issue. And then we have a review of a book that is a top series that I like. Then a book that's about somebody who actually lived. Then a book that's nonfiction. And then lastly, there will be a book that features one of the historic novelists that really has kind of gone out of fashion. Michener, Leon Uris, Irving Stone, Gore Vidal, that I'm kind of bringing back to a modern day readership who might have overlooked them. And then there'll be other features, like the last issue had a feature on how to get the most out of haunting a used bookstore. Find the things that you want. Yesterday I bought 12 books for $28.
No, and I
No.
love when they, yeah, if you like, there's a library here that has like this big auction thing that they put on, and then you go into the library, and if you go down into the basement, oh, the section where you can get like every book is like $1 or $2 or $3. You know, it's like I'm in there. I'm not even paying attention on what's going on out there. I am just in there. I'm in like heaven with my books. I love my books. I really do.
Is
You
the
know,
magazine going to be just digital, or will it be a hard copy as
It's
well?
just digital.
Just,
But
and where do you find it on your page?
it's part of their membership program.
Okay.
And we'll probably start doing a few articles in the blog as well. I'll be pulling after an issue is archived, I'll start pulling some of them and put them into the blog.
Okay.
so for the audio only version of this, when we go out tomorrow, we have an audio version only. This is the membership is www.thehistorictraveler.com/member. And for the blog, you can go to www.thehistorictraveler.com. And a free gift for your little guide there, you can go to www.thehistorictraveler.com/guide.
And I want to make one specification.
Yep.
Historic Traveler with one L, because there is another website that has 2 L's, and you don't want to go there.
Okay.
The English spelling.
Yep. TRAVELER. Okay. So.
And for those of you in the chat room, I've been putting links throughout the show in the chat, so you can just click on the links and go check it out.
Thank you, Mama D.
I keep looking at the pictures, looking at you guys, which is amazing, but then I see a nice picture pass by him.
Yeah. Again, I wish I could have put up all the pictures. I have so many pictures that
I wish there was a way to share a screen so that while we're talking, we could have like another screen up going.
if I had another
showing
screen, I would have
pictures.
all her pictures up there, because I do have more, but I just couldn't fit them on my thing here. Oh, I wonder if I can.
Ooh.
Okay, so if you want to see the pictures, just go to thehistorictraveler.com, go to the bottom of the page. On the left-hand side, you see the photo gallery. Just go into that photo gallery and thumb, and you'll so that there are 5 different main galleries. One is the spotlights, which you've been pulling the pictures from the spotlights. Then there is the cityscapes when I'm doing a whole city. Then there is collections like roses and hot air balloons and fall colors and just cool stuff. And then the next one is landscapes. So I'll just do all the landscapes for, Tahiti or Ireland or something like that. And then lastly, there's animals. And within those, there are probably anywhere from 5 to 8 already per sub-gallery. So when you go into the animals, you're going to find the African animals and the Australian animals and other kinds of stuff. So there's one that's domestic pets. Where I found, pets on doorsteps and all kinds of fun little things like that.
Oh my God. Well, now you just stole my heart. Will you be my best friend too, besides Mama T?
Well, she's still kidding me. That's like, okay.
I've been noticing your little family running around back there.
Oh, yeah.
Mine passed, but you are in the fox den, so I'm all about the foxes. But I do like our animals.
Oh, there's foxes there. There's foxes in my my Alaskan collection.
Oops.
So
awesome!
But yeah, so you can just wander around. You'll notice under the big picture in each, when you open the gallery, one of those 5, there's a big picture, and then right underneath is a little nav bar of all the other galleries, and then there'll be a directory there in the next 2 or 3 days. So that'll make it even easier.
Well, that's what I'm doing when I leave here tonight. But I mean, just the pictures that I've gotten from you so far that in your media kits and all this kind of stuff, I'm just like, wow. And it did remind me of my Jackie,
I am so honored and grateful, because this is my artistry. And for many years, it's been hidden. Nobody knew what I was doing. I was a closet photographer. I didn't show it to people except a few of my close friends. And it's my heart. It's what I love to do. And when I take a stunning picture, I just know.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. And then when I get it home, and there's nobody to show it to. So that's why the historic traveler was really the passion that I have to share my photography with people and my love of history together. I could bring it all in one place.
Perfect.
So if you don't even like the history, go look at the pretty pictures. But if you love history, you're going to be in seventh heaven. And if you love historic novels, man, you are in the right place.
Right. Well, we do a lot of history things. Now, Mama, what do you got here? She has something that she can add.
Open it up.
Oh, look at that. Well, that's the background page that I made.
That's,
but that's
her page. That's the gallery.
That's a gallery of iconic historic sites.
Wow.
You'll find that.
Oh, you can see my pointer. Okay. I like this. I like them all.
That's Budapest. I mean,
which one is Budapest?
That corner up there that comes together is the Parliament building, which you've seen and all that. It's right next to it, actually, from the Viking cruise ship. I shot that picture up there from the building that's in the middle. That's the Fisherman's Bastion. And that's on the other side of the river. I was up there on that ledge shooting that shot over there. And the one in the middle and the one just above it are from the actual grounds of the Parliament building.
Look at these night shots.
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I love the lights. Stunning. It's stunning. Look at this.
Thank you.
Oh, and then the Eiffel Tower, my daughter calls it Mr. Sparkly.
Mr. Sparkly?
Yeah, it lights up. That was always, she makes sure she gets a room with a view.
Oh, there's Big Ben.
Yeah, and there's your bridge. That's the H in your historic travel. Yeah.
It's some of these shots, some of these shots are current, shot in the summer, but some of these are literally 40 years old.
Yeah. Do you have the clock on this one? That funky clock?
Which funky clock?
Keep going up. Nope, not that one.
Oh, the Prague, the astronomical clock in Prague.
Yeah. Did you sit and watch it with all the?
That's it, right there.
Right there.
Right here.
Did you sit and watch that thing go off and all the skeletons coming out and danging things?
Multiple times. It was right outside my hotel, and I just couldn't get enough because that was one of the reasons I wanted to go to Prague to see that.
Yeah.
I read about it so many times.
That's insane. That's insane.
I want to swear it's so pretty.
Other pictures.
I don't normally swear.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Jackie, these are beautiful. You're a very good photographer.
You are. You have an eye that's like.
You're filling my heart, ladies.
Washington.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome. So it's like, why not share it? Look at that place here. Never seen that. Oh my God, this is stunning.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful. That's a good job. Yeah. Now, historically, is now what do you got?
Celtic gold in Ireland.
That is from the National Archaeological Museum in Dublin.
Wow. Access, Mommy.
Okay, wow. I'll take it off so that we can focus on conversation. Wow.
Amazing.
Oh, I like that hairpiece.
That's what they held their cloaks together with.
Mm-hmm. But I would use it on my hair.
So now,
okay, I love the one on the left right there. That little mouse. It's a little mouse, but that's on a sword hilt.
Oh my God, so cute. That is so cute. This is amazing. So stuff like this is what you'll be featuring in that magazine too, for like museums and such.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Beautiful.
I think the one I wrote for issue 2 is the Mexican one, the Archaeological Museum in pre-Columbian in Mexico City, where you've seen that big round sundial. Yeah, it's there.
Wow. I'm so jealous. But we can live your travels. That's what I said. Live vicariously through my daughter Jackie. Now I got Jackie and Jackie. I don't have to go anywhere. I've got you two. You guys take the best pictures. You know everything. That's all I need to know.
So what have I got up there now? I think right now I just did Kerry, Killarney in Ireland, and Breckenridge, Colorado. Fun, funky little place. I think right now is Estremoz in Portugal, Salamanca in Spain. It's a college town in Spain, but it's an 800-year-old college town.
Wow.
I think I've got Athens. We recently did the palaces, the Habsburgs palaces in Vienna. So a blog it might cover a whole city. It might cover just a building. One of my favorite blogs I did was on the oldest continuing operating hospital. It started in the Middle Ages and is still seeing patients. Now the old building isn't, it's a museum, but the hospitals continue to see patients. So but it's a fabulous building with tile roof, multicolored tile roof and stuff like that. So, I might pick a place or I might pick a bunch of things. Like I've got one blog where I've got 3 libraries, my 3 favorite libraries, one in Prague, one in Dublin, and the Morgan Museum in New York.
Cool. You can add a little segment on for us too, is the haunted stuff. Add the haunted stuff.
Yeah, you got it. It's Pompeii.
Look at that.
That's what. She just posted that one.
That's the blog page.
Okay.
Wow.
The echoing footsteps of the lost Pompeii.
You can imagine what those people lived through. Wow. Well, didn't live through, but I mean.
That's Monaco.
That's freaking stunning.
And Monte Carlo.
How a cunning monk, a royal wedding, and a casino built the world's glitziest microstate.
Right.
That's
going to be and now that is not on the Acropolis. It's looking down from the Acropolis.
Yeah. See, does the Acropolis not have a roof?
Pardon?
Does the Acropolis have a roof?
I'm sorry.
That's got to be.
Does it have a roof?
No, not much. Well, it's not one of the most complete. That one is fairly complete.
Yeah, that one looks like amazing.
There's Breckenridge.
I like the colors.
So, that's a fun one. I said it was open that. Why did you open that blog? Click on it and open it. That'll give you an idea. So there you have the beginning, the top photo. Then you're going to see some narrative. Keep going down.
There you go. Slow down. Back up. Stop at the words. Right there. You gotta love Breckenridge. Delightful town has never taken itself too seriously. Take, for instance, its naming. The growing Colorado gold rush
town. Sorry, that not gown.
Was named for a local prospector, Thomas Breckenridge, in 1859. Note the E. But the bigger things in mind, Army General George E. Spencer persuaded the citizens to change the spelling of the town's name to Breckenridge, note the I, in honor of a now obscure U.S. Vice President John Cable Breckenridge, in the hopes of gaining a post office?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Spencer succeeded, and on January 18th, 1860, the Breckenridge Post Office became the first U.S. post office between the Continental Divide and Salt Lake City. However, 30 days after John Breckenridge accepted a commission as Brigadier General in the Confederate States Army on November 2nd, 1861, the loyal Union town changed its name back to the original Breckenridge with the E, right? The town of Breckenridge was then incorporated in 1880. Wow, this is that's a lot of history.
It's not, and the thing is, it's not long and drawn out. It's like in short paragraphs, so it still keeps people's attention. Because after a while, if I get reading too long, then my eyes get sleepy and I forget everything I've just read.
I have my glasses right here, and I should put them on like every once in a while, like But if I put my glasses, I don't have that.
So I'm looking for the stuff that you don't know about a place. It's really interesting, even if it's famous.
Yeah.
And then we break it up with photos. So there's another downtown shot. Now keep going.
Look at those.
Some more downtown shots, some more exposition. Keep going.
Oh,
You
look
got
at
some
these.
more shots.
Flower pots.
And keep going. Now here's the fun. Look at all these different little storefronts.
I love the stores. The mountain goat. Oh my God, where's Taryn? Where's my friend Taryn? Go.
I think there's more under recommended reading. There's your books,
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Okay.
the tours, and then keep going. I think there's more. Yep, there's more pictures at the bottom. Keep
Ooh,
going.
nice timers. Cowboy
Yeah.
Winery, Gold Rush Saloon. I know where you'll find me.
Look at the walrus.
Arctic
Yeah.
Attic Adventure.
Cool. Beautiful flowers.
Oh, I
All
love
of
it.
this.
There's skis, making a chair. I mean, I find the quirky stuff, the fun stuff.
Love that stuff. We call that Americana stuff. Oh, look at the Viking.
And the
Wipe your hooves.
envelope that says "Wipe your hooves."
That's cute. Oh, I like it.
Oh, that's beautiful. And they're all so clean over there. You know, like all these different areas. They're so clean. It's nice
Mm-hmm.
for the most part.
Oh, no, that's my favorite color on the planet.
Lamppost. Oh, I like lamppost things.
I will eventually do a little book just on lampposts.
Oh my God. I know, right? They're gorgeous.
Okay.
They're stunning. I
I'm
love
going here.
iron.
Let's see, candy, chocolate, and fudge. That's where you'll find me.
Oh, we'd be lost in there, Mama. Oh, look at how cute.
Look at this, so cute, the little moose. You sure that's not Canada? The moose and the beaver?
It's Breckenridge.
That's beautiful. That's so cool. Look at the beautiful flowers. There's nice iron gates. I love iron. Oh, look at the pretty, what a cute little. Is that a house or is that a store? That must be a store.
It was a house. It's now a store.
Hmm. Oh, there's some more. Oh, there's so nice lanterns.
Ooh, cookie shop?
That gives you a sense of how the photos really bring a place to life.
Yeah,
exactly. You see, it's got personality. It's not like everything's the same. There's color, there's style, there's flowers, there's everything. Just makes it like pop. You don't. Sometimes when you walk down the street, it's like, it's the same old. But this, there's no way you can walk down that street and go, the Christmas
store. A serious traveler, or for anyone that just wants to just look at this because you're just so enthralled with it, you're learning history, and it doesn't cost much to subscribe to these things either. To get this, get your updates.
Remember, no, it's I believe the membership is
to sign on for the blog updates.
Yeah, the blog updates. But I mean, to subscribe to your
So the membership is under $20 a month.
Right.
It's $19.97 per month.
Yeah, and you get that's nothing. And you get all the information. I mean, that's nothing.
Yep. Thank you.
$20 a month. That's like what, 3 cups of coffee?
So there you go. That's a perfect place to sign up. So that's exactly how it works.
There's your sign up. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they did.
Take my name in there? No, I cannot.
We're gonna go Timon.
Thank you for opening those, Mama D.
No, here's the thing: is that it's the first time I've ever been able to find it because I wanted to see. I was looking at them, like I said. Normally, I'll scroll through Facebook and like and comment in the Facebook group, but I was like, "Go check out," and I was like, "Ooh, okay." And I'm paying attention. No, I got to. Oh, it's like
Yeah.
Good night, Carmen.
Yep. Good night. Yeah.
Thanks for your great questions, darling.
Thank you, Carmen. It was great to have your participation. Thank you.
Yeah, she's great. She's a good girl. She was at my event too. I get to see her. I'll get to see her at the next one in Gettysburg, which is always fun. Oh, you know what? This is a good part of a question here. It says elaborating more on like travel discounts and such. How can you find where there are the discounts? Because everybody is so money conscious nowadays anyway.
Well, obviously, one of the things is there are a number of services that just provide discounts, and you can subscribe to those. Mm-hmm. What we did was we decided to partner with a company that gets these deep discounted condo stays, hotel stays, etc. And so, rather than give you a particular discount, we would love to have them. And by the way, if you know people that want to bring more people to their place, reach out to me, because I will be happy to promote them. But in this case, it was just easier to basically work with a company that already has those discounts set up.
Right.
And so they can get you extraordinary deals. And what's really good about our travel discount program is that you can get a travel agent to do this all for free. So why do it yourself when you can have somebody? And travel agents are really hard to find today. I mean, they were a thing for a lot of years, and then internet basically killed them because everybody could go to Expedia and all those other places on their own. But sometimes it's better not to deal with all the details.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I get lost.
I love having this company that's associated with us that can do it all for you.
Yeah.
So that's
You
how
want to share the name of the company?
I have a child, like I have Jackie.
and our partner on the website is Elevate Travel X. And you can find them by just, clicking on there and getting to them. And it's one of the benefits of membership. And then we will put more additional bargains when we have them.
So you're learning, evolving, and growing, and I'm sure it's going to get bigger and bigger and better and better. The more you travel, the more you put on.
Right now we have Viator on there, which is a program that I talked about. You get the local travel, but I'm going to add other ones. I'm going to add one that has e-bikes. I'm going to add another one that has some specialty services. So, you'll be able to go on our website as part of our program and be able to do some of the planning on your own, or tell the travel agent, I want this. I saw that. Oh, I'm going to put on your rail on there. So, if you want to do some of this on your own, you're going to have it really easy, accessible from us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's like a one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for historic travel.
Yeah, that is good for you. But now talk about, besides this, like your speaking engagements and things too, that you work with people for public speaking and that.
Well, sort of no and yes. I sold the speaking company.
Okay.
So I don't do that anymore. But what I do is the podcast tours, which you were leading to kindly. You've been so kind to book our guests. We do podcast radio tours. That's my other life, where I introduce authors and leaders to 9,000 radio shows and podcasts with a minimum guarantee of 30 invitations. We specialize in authors and leaders who are in personal growth, spirituality, health and wellness, women's empowerment, general life improvement in one shape or form, and business if it's more about mindset and the more spiritual or personnel kinds of things, and not so much about how to sell more widgets.
Okay.
Right.
How to tell your story, those kinds of things. But so that's my other side of life. And I love to do that because I can split these both easily.
Yeah. And you keep us busy with your guests.
How do you sleep? I mean, when do you sleep? Yeah. There's no time.
Well, I didn't for the last 10 months, I'll tell you. I mean, just digitizing 35,000 slides. But now I'm, this summer should be a little bit more relaxing and fun. But you're right. I mean, I am a very hard worker. And when I say that I follow God's breadcrumbs, when God gives me a chance to do, I go do it. And sometimes it takes a lot of work. Yeah. But the whole point of this is I am now at a stage in my life where I am not doing work I don't like, and I'm only doing work I like. And that's podcast tours and this. So
that's awesome.
It's not work when you're doing it for fun. And now that I've set everything up, it's just writing a few blogs, writing the magazine, and hosting our book club and our membership meeting. And then I can go and play and travel and have fun.
That's wonderful. What a wonderful life. Good for you. You deserve it. You worked hard for it. you know, and it's good that you choose you, you know, and a lot of people don't. And that's
Yeah,
that's
it's hard. It's
unfortunate.
not always an easy thing to do. But the thing is, you choose you, but in choosing you, you're also giving us extra. You're giving us the travel blog. You're giving us, Gina and I, the guests that we can have on our show. And so, like, what you do for yourself also helps everybody else. And this is something people don't realize. Doing things for yourself will end up helping other people, you know. So,
And vice
and that's
versa.
what you do.
Serving others will help fill you too.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm a big believer it goes both ways.
100%. Hi, Lisa. But yeah, I mean, that's like, you know, talk about helping others. I feel like it's all like, you know,
it's like you got so many questions and you can't remember, keep them popping out all the time. It's like, I wanted to say something before and I was like, and then we got onto something else. I forgot it. And I was like,
it'll come back.
Yep.
I know. Petra. So, you know, Bob put in the thing Petra. That was the thing that I was looking for and all that. So yeah, when I go back and watch and we listen, yeah, that's where he found there was a new, like they had two chambers underneath dug out, like right at the entrance. And while he was there, they found a third. I believe that's what it was. And they got down into the hole and you could see the opening, but they didn't get in it. You know, it's like, how do you not
get in it
there and wait and get, you know, and see it? I don't understand it, you know, but I mean, I would kill for that. Like when I was a child, I was always just so enthralled with Egypt, anything, with the pyramids, with the mummies, with the history, with the aliens, with everything about it. And I would read books. I would draw all the pictures. I would do all of that, you know. And I was like, and then it switched, and then it just kind of stopped. I mean, it's always still there, but I've always been like, thinking, you know, when you have the dream, like you're one of those archaeologists that are going to go dig in a friggin' pile of sand and you're going to find the next big, you know, King Tut's tomb full of everything, you know, not looted, not everything. And I'm like, that would be so amazing. I would just love for that to happen.
Yeah.
I used to have dreams of renovating Victorians. Oh, beautiful. Take an old Victorian and bringing it back to life. I will never do that in this lifetime, but man, it was a fun dream.
I've done that. I did it for work. So I've done that. Done that.
Good for you. You know, bringing back, preserving our history and making it lived in. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. And then we go tour a lot of them. You know, again, paranormal, we go and tour all the haunted locations and such. So, you know, the haunted castles, the haunted mansions, you know, so the historic locations, like why we have Penhurst Paragon is to restore, upkeep the preservation of Penhurst Asylum, you know, so like they knock down buildings that they can't renovate the ones that they can, and upkeep the grounds. And, you know, and every year it's getting better and better and better. And it's preserving history. And we're all a big part of that, you know, and that I love that, you know, so that's like a lot of what we do in the field is, you know, helping, and all the events that we go to is always helping a location or a charity or something, you know. So, you know, if everybody could do their part like that in preserving these locations and staying in these locations, you know, as opposed to the brandy new hotel down the street, you know, go to your bed and breakfast and go to your old cool palazzos. I want to so badly. You know, that's what's preserving all these great locations, you know, the visitors and the travelers.
Agreed.
Because
I think that's that I don't do the paranormal side. I'm the woo-woo side. And I think everything I've seen with Gina and Bob, all the stuff that they do is it goes back into the buildings. And there's another group of friends that I have, and they'll do the same thing. They'll have events and it'll go back into the building. There's a gentleman that I know that he had a dog that saved his life. He was on the border of choosing his way home, and the dog came up to him. It was his own dog. He just got it, and it sort of stopped him from doing what he was planning on doing. And that dog and him did events throughout the States and they would raise money for a kennel, for a shelter, a non-kill shelter, and he would raise the money, and they've gone into that thousands of dollars that these guys raise doing events and doing specials. So I think that's an amazing thing. I've got amazing friends.
Well, I think that you guys are heroes when when you do this work.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
That is another thing. I forgot to say it at the beginning. I wanted to say it at the beginning. The box that I made, we make these easy scan ghost boxes because we build paranormal equipment for the community. And I made a box that had all of our celebrities on it.
Ooh, how did that go?
I had every celebrity sign it. So it's all our celebrities and all the, every member of every team and everything. And Josh Gates signed it and everything, all our celebrities signed it. What we're going to do is we are going to, the ASPCA was also there at the event. So what we're going to do is we're going to auction it, and the proceeds will go to the ASPCA.
Nice. See, very nice. See, there's always somebody doing something extremely nice in our neighborhood.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, ladies.
Yeah. No, you good work. You keep up the good work.
All do it. I think, and I think that's one of the things, like with the guests that you share with us, is Gina and I always focus on helping at least one person. And with you, you're teaching. And like I said, for me, it's like, I'm a Canadian. I don't even know my own. I know some of my own city, but I don't explore it. You give people the bug to explore something that, whether it's their own city, whether it's their own state, whether it's a country that they're interested in, you sort of light that spark. Like every time Gina starts thinking about where she's going next, even if it's just in her mind, she's going to be like, let me go and check the pictures.
Well, you have one of the great historic cities right there in
Montreal, Quebec City.
Quebec City is just phenomenal.
It is
phenomenal for history. Montreal is also a lovely city. It's a little later.
It's got some awesome churches.
And, you have that wonderful, great Victorian era hotel in Victoria that kind of dominates Victoria. I mean, you've got some wonderful places. And I've just had a beautiful astrocartography reading that says that I would feel extremely home in Nova Scotia. So I didn't think about it, but Nova Scotia is next on my list.
There we go.
Well, there you go. You got to take the cat. If you go up there, you got to take the cat. You got to do it right.
What? Okay, I know you're getting off this subject, but what is astrocartography?
That is an astrology reading that focuses on where you should live, or where you should best travel, where your signs show that you are most at home, that you have the most success. Actually, my astrocartography shows that Los Angeles, where I have been and worked all these years, has been the exact right place for me. And I am going to move to Reno, and I'll be darned if you follow the astrocartography line, everything converges for me at Reno.
Nice. Isn't it amazing how all the, like, I think, readings for me, readings I do myself for me, things that we do together, Mama, they're always right. These cards, the cards that we pull for people when we do those kinds of shows and we talk about these people, even if it's something that, it might not be the question that you're asking, but it's the answer in your mind. And it is definitely pertains to you, but it always will fall into line, whether it happened way before or it hasn't happened yet, but it's pertinent and it's going to, or has.
She told me that if I was going to move overseas, I really need to go to northern Portugal, for example.
Yep.
It kind of guides you as to where you're going to be most at home and most successful.
That was one of our worker bees at our event there. She was off for a few years and finally came back, and couldn't have done it without you, Marsha. Thank you. Yeah, it was just so big. I wish I had pictures of that because it was just, I still can't believe it's here and gone. We planned for over a year. We've already
started planning for next year. So.
Yeah, it's been crazy, 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 crazy.
My previous life, I was in the event business doing publicity. And so I know how difficult it is to put something together, ramp up, and then feel post-event let down afterward.
Yeah. Well, it took her, we stopped doing the show for 3 weeks, for the week before, the week of, and then the week after. Because I know the week after when Gina sent me a voicemail message,
I had no voice.
we're finished. I'm done.
No voice after that at all. And then the emotions hit you when it's done too,
Yeah.
all the hard work that everybody puts in it. And, all our people like Marsha and Marty and, like all the paranormal beaches. I mean, I couldn't do all this stuff without them, and Bree and Nick and all the other people that there's too many to list that helped. We don't get paid, because the proceeds are going to the location, and it's hard work. It's a lot of hard work, but just to plan it, yes, is food and porta potties and, because we knew we had over 8,000 tickets sold at one point. So we had to have fire and ambulances, and then we had 9,000 people come, so it's like, yeah, you have to make sure that you have accommodations for everyone.
Mhm.
And it's not easy, and to spread people out, to have the flow of traffic around, different types of parties going on here and there, and ghost hunts, and a VIP party over here, and a horror hour over there, and the speakeasy thing going on over there. It's like stuff is everywhere for everybody,
Yeah.
and to pull it all together and to walk around and see it actually work
It's freaking awesome.
is pretty spectacular. Yeah.
I've had a few people on Facebook. I've seen the pictures that they posted, and these people did an amazing job.
Pat yourself on the back. Very few people can do it. And
Very
do it
true.
right.
Yeah. And every year we said, we're not going to do this again. And then we were like, well, we're planning already. We already have some things lined up.
I don't believe her when she says that. I don't believe her at all. As stressful as it is, she enjoys doing it, but more of she enjoys the people that have enjoyed their hard work.
Right.
Well, and there's a fun thing that happens when you're building a team like that, and everybody is working together, and you develop lifelong friends, and that's a side benefit of that too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's a little family that we have there too, and it's like 3 big bashes. Penhurst and Jim and his team, and us and our team. So everybody has their jobs, and we all make it work. And it's a lot of work, but I mean, it's a labor of love for sure. So for great locations, for a great cause, next is Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, and that's for, Wounded Warriors.
There you can go down for the historic version of it, and they reenact things, and you could always, do a blog about it, and then you get to see Gina in person.
Maybe not this year, but it sounds like it'll be fun.
There you go.
It is fun though. There's a lot of things that happen there. It's a
list.
lot of fun. They're more fun focused place, type of an event. That's why it's the bash. It's like there's some really cool things. We had an escape room there. They had an escape room there last year. You can go out, and it's like a big truck that pulled up. That was escape room. They had wrestlers actually having wrestle matches inside the place.
My goodness.
Oh my, yeah, it was so crazy. We always have a karaoke contest. It was just crazy things. But it's all to benefit Wounded Warriors. So, you just put your heart and soul into those types of things,
Another good thing to invest in.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it goes
to all friends that run these things. Oh, and this is a man who came to the event. We loved it. We found our home.
Probably home.
And have made some family. Paranormal
friends and family. There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Normal peeps.
His little daughter is the parakeet, because I'm the parafox. He's the parakeet.
He's the parakeet.
Yeah, that's my little
sidekick.
Little bud there. So much fun. Just so much fun.
So Jackie, in your life, in your family, does any of the try that one again? Does any other member of your family have that travel bug?
My father did. I inherited his wanderlust gene.
Okay.
He didn't get to travel nearly as much as he wanted in life because he had some physical limitations. Okay. But he ended up in Europe in D-Day. Following, he was in the medical corps right behind. He was an X-ray tech, and so he got to spend a little time in England and France, and it bit him too. And
Okay.
so he always wanted to travel, but when he started a family and had some issues, he couldn't. So it's kind of like he passed it on to me. So
There you go. And you're
he didn't
you're living
he
it for
didn't
him.
live long enough to see me do as much as I did,
Hmm.
but he would have loved to have, lived vicariously through the travel that I do.
Yeah. Well, you know how it works, right? He's there with you now, and he's living his dream through you and having a blast.
And as I'm speaking right now, my brother is in Budapest. So
Oh,
they are
nice.
setting up on a cruise, a river cruise all the way up through Germany to Amsterdam. So
My daughter did that one. Yep, she loved it. That's amazing. That is amazing. I know she's like all these places that she's been that I look at. Like, I mean, Portugal, Romania, Russia, San Marino, Slovakia, South Korea. That's where she went last year.
well,
Spain,
and a lot of
Sweden,
people
Taiwan,
like to
Turkey.
travel where their ancestors were.
Hmm.
And so, one of the articles I'm going to be doing is on, historic tourism. I mean, ancestral tourism. So where you can go to places that your family came from.
Yeah.
So in my case, my grandmother came from Poland, and my grandparents came from the Ukraine, and so I haven't been to those places, but ultimately I might make it to those
Yes.
locations.
Well, I
I'll be
always said,
going to Ireland, Scotland, and England.
yeah, I'm a finished WAP. I'm Finnish and Italian. So my grandparents, my great grandparents came over from Italy, and my other grandparents came from Finland. So, big Italian family, small Finnish family. Really, the cultures are not at all the same. But my dad always talked about Vikings, Vikings, you're a Viking, this, that, and the other thing. And my mom always, manja, but she didn't want us to travel. Like I was like the youngest, and I always would move to various places, and I liked being different things, and just because I'm like 20 minutes over a bridge one way away from everybody else, it's like, why are you moving way out there? It's like 20 minutes.
Moms.
Now,
That's moms. Come on.
now that I'm like 6 hours away, I mean, they've passed away by now, but like they never came down here because, they're like, they don't want to travel 6 hours. It's
Yeah.
like, nuts. But
And
I mean,
Marcia says Ireland's on her list.
Yeah. That's on my list for sure too. Again, haunted castles. It's a lot of good haunted locations in Ireland.
Trust me, if there's a haunted spot, Gina will find it, or they will find her.
Yeah, they know you're coming before you get there.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We
So
are almost at an end. Is there something specific you want to use to make it bite the booty of a next traveler?
Well, I certainly want to encourage you to come follow the blog, because there's so much more coming. I've written almost 60 blogs, and you're only seeing about 24 of them.
Yeah.
And if you really want to go dive deeper, come join the membership program and take advantage of the guide. That's a really good way to, and I'm going to give you a little secret since you guys are so nice. There's a second guide, and it's just for North America. And all you do is add NA to that URL, thehistorictraveler.com/guide NA. So you can take advantage of that. The one up there is the international one. The other one I gave you is North America.
Wow, you're the best. You are the best. I just so enjoyed meeting you. I was actually nervous having you come on here.
One more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a gift certificate. So if you aren't the history person and somebody you know is, give them the gift of membership.
The gift certificate. Yeah.
That's a great idea. That is a really good idea. It's a good birthday present. It's a good gift for your traveler, for your kids. It's really good, like my kids. I really wanted Jackie to meet you tonight, but she's afraid of cameras. Like, she takes the best pictures. She just doesn't like being on the other end of it.
Well, you're always welcome to introduce us.
I really want you two to talk. Oh my God. I would just I'd love to be a fly on the wall listening to you two talk about locations and camera. What kind of cameras do you use?
I use some Canons with a big long lens on my big camera, and I use a smaller one for indoor.
Yeah.
And then I use myself on a lot of the stuff. So I mean, I'm always juggling all three.
Nice.
Wow.
And I put pictures of 3 cameras around your thing too. That's weird. Oh gosh. And it's like I have like so many millions of other things, and we have like 2 minutes left. All right, where are you going next now?
Egypt,
Egypt. Oh,
probably
When
colors,
you go to
maybe
Egypt.
in upstate New York. I might do that.
well, if
And
you go to upstate New York, then you definitely let me know, because that's not too far from me.
great, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Awesome. I would love to meet up with you somewhere.
That'd be lovely. Thank you. You guys have made me feel so welcome.
Oh,
No,
thank you.
you're stuck in the family. You were part of the family, the hidden part of the family before. Now
Oh,
we know who you are. So I'll be like, oh, we saw you on the Fox Den. And you are a secret supplier of guests. So now everybody
Yes.
knows where we get you.
Yes, yes. And I mean, we used to talk all the time online, and I would drive you crazy, like, oh, I have the kids, I have to switch this. Oh, can they do that? Oh my God, yeah. But
I
now
want a list of her
I'm
guests.
dealing with Kim all the time. I think it's Kim.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can't do it all myself, ladies.
No, for sure.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
do you have a list of your guests that you could travel off to us, and we could just go one of these?
We've got a bunch more coming for you.
I had a book.
Stay tuned.
Where did I put that book, Mama? That had all the bear and all these things, like all
Oh
these.
yeah. Okay, she was showing me the book. I didn't have to visit.
And it came in like all the different books and all the different cards and all the different people and all the authors and everything. And I was like, I was wondering if it came from your agency or if it just came. I'm not sure, because I buy so much stuff.
Well, just ask Kim. She's got a list for you.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm already booked. I don't even know, 6 months out, 7 months out. You know me, I'm always a year ahead.
I was lucky to get in here.
Yes.
No, Gina would have made space for you. If there was no space, she would have made space for you.
Yeah, because when I saw it was you, I was just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Really? Yes. Like, would you
Top
like
of the list.
as a kid? I'm like, what?
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Grateful.
You keep us
And
running.
I love very powerful women that go and do, and you're that, and you're just all of
You're a
it.
great example for a lot of people who think that they can't do it, and you're just saying things that you've done without even realizing how big of an impact you're going to make on somebody's, whether it's a vocal in the audio section or listening back onto the show. You're a great impact on what women can do.
Thank you.
I
have been a believer in women my whole life, and never let anybody tell you what you can't do.
Yep.
Follow your vision. Don't follow anybody else's goals, directions, ignore them. Follow what you feel, follow what you know, follow the messages that you're being given.
Yep.
That's me. I just say I follow God's breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I like that saying.
Do what I'm told, and follow, and always success follows.
Always. My dad always said, if someone else can do it, that means you can too. He was the construction guy, so I learned a lot from him. Building, so I'm a tool belt diva. I can build anything. I could do. It's just like, I'll build my house and I'll live in it. Right? I'll decorate it. I'll faux paint it. I'll put murals. I'll do everything. It'll be beautiful, and it'll be all me. And it's because my dad always said that.
But here's the other thing.
And the man can do what you can't. You can get a mule to do it, meaning the bulwark, meaning tools.
That's a failing a lot of times of women. We don't allow ourselves to receive.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to do it all yourself.
Yeah, well, I can't anymore.
Accept help and be the feminine energy of receiving that we were meant to be.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask.
Do not be afraid to ask.
It's like I love it when people come to the show and go, "I've got a stupid question," and my comment is, "There's the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask." Because even if you think nobody's going to ask this question, there's at least a dozen people listening going, I wanted to ask that, or that was the question I wanted to ask. And so it's important to always ask.
And when you travel,
Yep.
You're going to be surprised how many people are beautiful angels that are
Mm,
willing to help you when you don't even ask.
exactly.
Oh, looking confused? Can I help you? Can I take you to where you need to go, miss? Can I lift your suitcase on that train for you? Can I take it up this staircase?
Hmm.
People are willing to help. Don't say, oh, I can do it myself. Say
Right.
yes.
I'd be like, here,
Right.
yes, thank you. Because you're giving somebody an opportunity to do something good. When you
Mhm.
say yes.
I've learned that because I was always the one that would do that. I'd be like, let me carry that for you. Let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. And now that I'm the one that needs the help, it's like, yes, I'm asking, but it's tough for me. You know, when you're the one that is always the one that has always helped,
Hmm.
the one that did all the work. And now
It doesn't make you weak or inadequate to ask for help.
no,
It
it's
makes
just the
you
next
strong
stage. It's the
to know
next stage.
you can.
And then if you can teach. You're teaching. You know what I mean? I would love to teach like art to kids. You know what I mean? Like that would be like something phenomenal to do. But teaching is always great. But we're already over time here. We're
Remember,
rambling.
and I gotta go
What
feed.
happens on our show? It just goes from here to here to here, and it's a conversation. And it was lovely having this conversation with
Wow.
you and getting to know you a little bit better on a more personal level. Um, you know, not such a regimented format of question answer. I would rather get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
This was lovely. Very, very lovely, lady. Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for the opportunity to get to know you as well. And I really am honored and grateful for all that you've helped me bring forward.
Well, thank you very much, Jackie.
I would love to have you back on too when this thing gets bigger and better, and and Lord knows what you're gonna do next, but it's your thing.
We'll
And
talk.
thank you.
We'll talk.
Okay. Well, if you want to hang on just like a minute, I'm going to play a little exit video, and I'm going to say buonanotte to everybody. And yes, we love you. No show next week because I'm going to be in Massachusetts because I have to go help my daughter. So
She's
we'll
gonna
be
go
back.
snuggle with Munchkins.
Yeah, and my grandson's birthday. So I'm going to be in Mass on a break. All right. So ciao for now. Thank you, Jackie. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D. We are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests or our own intuitive oracle card reading shows. We are streaming live on Facebook on my personal page and our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, on Mama D's YouTube channel, Angel Meadows, as well as our audio-only venues. We hope you enjoyed our show and our guest or your reading, and we would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, subscribe, share, and definitely hit that notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.